and welcome to The Content Bite, a podcast for freelancers who use their words to make money. I'm Rachel Smith, a freelance journalist, copywriter, and content producer. I'm also the founder of Rachel's List, a jobs board and community for Australian writers and other creatives.
And I'm Lynn Testoni. I'm a journalist and a content writer as well. Rachel and I are your weekly co-hosts, and every week we're bringing you all kinds of tips, tricks, and some fabulous guests to help you make the most of your freelance business. This podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Rounded, easy accounting and invoicing software made just for Australian freelancers and sole traders. It's everything you need to make freelancing easier. Find out more at rounded.com.au.
Also, if you're a gold member of Rachel's List, Rounded is giving you 20% off an annual subscription plan. Upgrade to gold membership for all the details. Hi Lynn, how are you going?
I'm good. I'm all fine.
I didn't even wait for you to say that you were okay.
That's okay. No, it's all good. It's a nice, cool day today, and that's a nice thing.
And we're flying by the seat of our pants because we don't have a guest. It kind of feels weird not having a guest.
But it's sort of nice, isn't it? I mean, we chat ourselves all the time. So it's sort of nice to just talk about some of the issues that come up when you're running a freelance business.
Absolutely. And so this episode is really a response to a lot of freelancers who contacted us separately, who we know are doing it really tough out there and finding it hard to kind of keep that work flowing. And we're seeing it in the Facebook group at Rachel's List as well. I mean, it happens, doesn't it? And it is a bit of a tough market out there.
It can be. But then conversely, I actually spoke to somebody the other day because she wanted some help with pricing, and she's just gone freelance and she's just overwhelmed with how much work there is out there. And so I think it's really positive generally. I think there is a lot of work out there. It's just sometimes you feel if you get stuck in one of those slow patches, you feel like there's no hope and you can get into a bit of a spiral. So we thought we'd be inspiring today, didn't we, Rach?
We are. We're going to try and inspire you all. But what are you seeing? Are you having any changes like in how clients are acting towards you at the moment?
No, I always find that the beginning of the year is a bit slow to start. And I think that's partly because a lot of my clients are in construction, and traditionally they just go on holidays January. And I do feel this year, because of the post-COVID stuff, it's been longer. Yep. And that everyone took a while to come back from holidays this year. Did you find that?
Yeah, I definitely had a very slow start to the year. Like normally February is absolutely mental for me. And it was like still being on holidays for that whole month, which was nice. But I don't really worry about it anymore because it always comes back. And, you know, when you freelance for a certain amount of time, you've got so many connections and clients that it does come back. But I will say I'm finding a lot more ghosting happening and people setting meetings and cancelling on me or asking me to quote on something and then just disappearing. And some of them come back like 2 months later and some not. But that's been going on since last year. And I think that there's a bit of uncertainty out there, you know, with the interest rate rises and people hedging their bets. So I am seeing a little bit of a change in how clients are approaching projects and signing on the dotted line and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting you say about ghosting. I've had a little bit of that. I have one client who their financial year starts in March, and I forget this every year. And so basically they do nothing all January and February because they're trying to get their budgets done. And I do think that's a good tip, is to, when you've got clients, to understand their sort of payment cycles, because what happens is they're really quiet, and then in April, everything comes to they all get everything approved, and I get my inbox full of stuff from all different divisions of the company. That's time you work that out. And the same with some people find the end of financial year, they get a lot of stuff. You did last year, didn't you?
I was just going to say that, like, it's such a good tip, isn't it, to know the cycles of your clients and the niches that you're in, because then you can start to anticipate the really busy times for them and plan accordingly. And and that helps as well when you're in a slow patch. Like if you're going to a client like yours that is dead as a doornail till March, it's just going to compound the issue and make you think, oh God, there's no work out there. But actually it's just a certain cycle of that client's, you know, workflow or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's share a few tips. If you are in a slow patch right now, we're going to give you a few of our tips on how we get things moving.
You go first. What's your first tip?
My first tip, which I think never fails, is to reconnect with past clients.
Yep.
Because I think you've already got established relationships with those people and they've paid you to work on projects in the past. But sometimes those clients will just fall off the radar, or they might move companies. But if you keep in touch with them, I know you're very good at this, but if you keep in touch with them and they liked your work, it can be a really good way of, suddenly getting back on their radar. And I would just reach out with an email, like do a little bit of, LinkedIn stalking and see if something personal has happened to them. Maybe they've had a job move or a promotion or gotten married. So you might just start congratulating them on what's changed in their lives. And then you can transition into that more professional paragraph where you let them know what you've been up to, or you say, I'm now offering this, something that might solve a problem that they have. And I just think it can really end up in bringing work your way doing that, even though it might feel a bit icky doing it.
Yeah, I do that too. There's a few things I do is I usually just say, I've just finished a large project and I have some availability, which is sometimes true, sometimes not. And I think one of the things, and this is a tip I learned from Jennifer Gregory, who we both love, she says things like she can turn something around quickly.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that is back to your solving a problem. So I think that turning around quickly because you've just got an unexpected gap in your schedule or something, that's true. The other thing is the LinkedIn. One of the things I've learned over the years is as soon as I get a new client, I pretty well connect on LinkedIn straight away.
Yep.
And so one of my clients is a big corporate and they've always got lots of staff changes. There's people coming and going, few restructures over the years. And the people that I've got relationships with often leave and go to other companies, but they're in the adjacent industry or the same industry. And I keep so I connect with them and I stay connected with them through LinkedIn. And they often reach out to me when they're in their new jobs. Usually I do the thing like you suggested. I congratulate them when they get a new job. I say, it was great working with you. Hope we can continue to do that. It was really lovely. And they often remember me. And when they're going to a new job, people love bringing their own contact books. So if they say, oh, I know somebody who can do that, it makes them look good. So that's happened to a few things. I've had to pivot a little bit and go into industries that are a bit new for me, but I've found I've got a lot of work that way by keeping in touch with all those clients as they go on. And especially like juniors, like marketing assistants, they go to marketing managers and then they move up and then you get more and more work.
It just kind of goes to show, doesn't it, that, we freak out about our favorite editors or clients moving on, but actually it's a positive thing. It can open you up to new companies and new work. And so it's actually quite positive. I don't think it's necessarily a negative when clients move on or editors go to another mag. Yeah.
Well, it's usually doubled my client thing because the existing client often uses me too, particularly if they've got new people and they don't know what to do, or they use sometimes the regulars. Sometimes it can change, but they often use the people that have got experience in their industry, especially when you're a freelancer. I think it's different when you're internal. They often want to change the people inside. And I've often got more sort of industry knowledge than they do because they're still learning. So as long as you're good to the new people, and then I've got the old people in their new jobs as well.
Yeah, exactly. I liked what you said about saying I've got availability right now. I do that a lot with current clients, not so much past clients, but say current clients where I might not have anything on my schedule for them, but I'm trying to sort of bust out of that slow patch. And I might say, I've got a gap in my schedule and I have availability right now. I've done this with quite a few banking clients in the past and suddenly picked up a heap of work. So I know that it works. And you mentioned Jennifer Gregory, and we'll put a link to that because she does a really great letter, like an email that you guys might find useful. I think she has a paragraph in that says something like, what else I do. Say that you've written lifestyle content for a client, but they also have technology clients as well. So you might say, since we've only worked together on technology projects, this is from Jennifer's newsletter. I wanted to let you know that I also specialize in finance and insurance, and my clients include, blah, 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 and looking forward to working with you again. So it sort of gives them the message that you're available and also that you do other things. So they get a little light bulb moment.
Yeah, that's good with agencies, particularly because they often have a diverse range of clients, and they might have just used you. I've done that with one big publisher because I've done a lot of pet content as well, and I'd only written for them on building and renovation, which is like my core sort of niche, but I've done a lot of pet clients, and I mentioned that one day, and she got back to me saying, oh, we've got, you know, a new pet client, and I picked up that, which was quite good. And so I think that's really good.
That is a really good point with agencies. I hadn't thought about that, but I do that because you can get very pigeonholed, can't you, by the account manager that hires you all the time. Whereas you can say, look, I noticed always, if you're doing regular good work for an agency and they use you every month, go and look at their website and check out the other clients on their roster.
Yeah.
And then you can approach your account manager and say, I noticed that you guys are working with, you know, parenting brands or something. And I do a lot of parenting writing. Would you like want to introduce me to that account manager and see if they need some work, ever need, you know, a writer or something? It can really work when you're already in the door, so to speak, I think. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. A really good tip.
Yeah.
So I was going to say my next tip is about trawling through the jobs boards.
Oh, yeah.
There are some jobs boards out there. I mean, obviously Rachel's List is a big one.
Yes.
I'm not always looking for work through Rachel's List because I have a full schedule. But if I don't, I always go through and see what you've got on offer. And you have a lot of freelance sort of jobs. The other one I look at is there's a Facebook group called Find a Finder's Fee. Now, that is huge, that group. I think it's about 30 or 40,000 people, and it's international. So it can be hit and miss. But I have actually got a few clients. Whenever I'm a bit quiet, I'll go on and see if there's anything relevant. And the hit ratio is not great because there's so many people, but I've picked up some really good clients, a lot of agency clients on there because that's its core sort of group, people from advertising and content agencies. And I have picked up some really good clients. I just picked up one just before Christmas, and it turned out to be somebody who's worked with somebody I know. So there was a connection there, which I think helped. And they gave me some 1 day a week sort of short-term contract role throughout January, which was great. And also because I worked with them for a while, I did exactly what we were just talking about. And the best thing I did was I went into and met them 1 day in the office, which is, I don't do that very often. I went in, I saw their other clients. I said, oh my God, did you? Oh, I didn't know that they did all this building and construction. I said, that's my core thing. And I do that. Now they've actually been commissioning me to do lots of work outside there. So I've actually picked up a whole new client out of that, as well as that short-term project.
That's great. And what you say about jobs boards, a little sneaky tip, which I know that some of the Rachel's Listers do, is say that a job is posted and it's a perm job and it's totally your niche, your area. You would love to do it, but you don't want to do it because it's perm and you're freelance.
Yeah.
You could still apply for that job and say, look, I'm not looking for a perm job, but I've got these skills that are, you know, really in line with what you guys do. And I imagine you might be looking for some freelance help while you're hiring for the perm role.
Yep.
If you need any help, I'm here. You know, take a look at my website. I know quite a few people who do that. And I think that can really help too. It's slightly cheeky, but, you know, it's a way to stand out, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And I've done that with somebody because I do a bit of recipe editing, and I was put in for HelloFresh, which is does a lot of recipes and stuff. And I didn't really want a permanent job, but I said exactly that. And I've done quite a bit of work for them over the last few years, filling in when people go on holidays.
Yeah.
They put me on a list and they came back and said, oh, we've got somebody away for 3 weeks. Do you want to do a few weeks here and there? And I've done a few weeks over Christmas and various holidays. And I quite like that. Sometimes it's only like 1 or 2 days, but it sort of fits in. It's a nice thing. You never know. And also, the more different people you work for, the more opportunities you get. It sort of opportunities sort of beget opportunities. They do. Yeah. I listened to a podcast that was actually Melanie Paget-Powers one, The Deliberate Freelancer, which is really good. And she had somebody on this week who talked about every freelancer needs a lot more clients than you think. And I probably have 30 to 40 clients,
Yep.
but some of them are just quiet for a while because of budget, because of, the cycle, whatever, and others are really busy. So having a whole list, always trying to accumulate more clients, and you can catch somebody on the right part of the cycle. I think it's a good idea.
That's a really great point. We have actually asked that in our pay rate survey about how many clients people worked with in the last year. And it's so interesting because some people say 1 to 3, I think the majority, what we're seeing at the moment is between 4 and 9 clients.
Right.
And you're right. You actually really do need a lot because some drop off, some leave, and then you never hear from them again. So, yeah.
Journalism, I find, is more consistent. So I get 1 or 2 stories a month from 2 of the major magazines I work for, which is fine. But like content marketing particularly is ebbs and flows because it's really campaign related and driven. So I might have, as you know, I did all that stuff about the block and that in sort of like September, October, and that's obviously every year about that time. And hopefully I'll do it again this year, but you never can tell because things change. But it's really busy, but at the moment there's nothing. And also there's a couple of my other clients, they might be launching their website, they might be doing, some of my building clients get really busy around award season. The HIA, which is the Housing Industry Association, they do a lot of case studies before so they can get everything in line to apply for all the awards because that makes a lot of work for them. So there's different cycles.
Yeah, what we were saying before about the cycles. Okay, I only really have one last tip, and that is putting the word out to your posse. Because apart from all the clients, you really need a wide network of colleagues and friends who, are all motivated to help each other out because sometimes you can help them out with a bit of work. Sometimes they can help you out. And I've just joined a pitching WhatsApp group, which was started by Emma Lavelle. And I'm probably not the most active member, but the other members in there are really active in sharing pitch call outs because they're often pitching and they do a lot of travel and stuff. And I can see the value in having that, like people sharing those call outs that they spot that you might not see and something that might be a good fit for you. And there was something that came through with The Guardian needing evergreen stories, and I pitched a yarn to them. And so, I think that if you're invited into those little private groups, that can be really useful. I've been in a few copywriting ones where I picked up some clients. But also if you're not and you just have a few friends that are really busy generally or have different kinds of clients, you could just email them and say, look, I'm a bit at a loose end at the moment. Do you know of anything going? They might just think that you're busy and not think of you when they have stuff that they can't do. So just reaching out keeps you top of mind, I think.
I think so too. And I often pass jobs on to, I've got particularly a couple of colleagues who work in the similar niche, and I often pass work to them that I can't do, and they've passed it back to me. So I think that's been good. And also if a client, an editor asked me for some work and I couldn't do it, but I recommended Carrie, who's been on the podcast, and Carrie's amazing. Carrie Hutchinson.
Yeah,
and she's really good, and she sent me a lovely note to say thanks so much for the call out, but also I know Carrie will do a good job. So the editor came back to me and said, Carrie's awesome, thank you so much for recommending her. So I got kudos from the editor and Carrie, and Carrie's given me a couple of jobs over the years when she's been busy too. So I think that works. But it also, if you've got somebody that you can recommend who will make you look good, I think that's good too. It's to lose the scarcity mentality, as we say, because there's work out there and sharing it is a good thing.
Absolutely. Have we got a last tip?
I was going to, there's a couple. Well, I guess the ultimate tip, which we know, is you book a holiday.
Yes. Haven't we mentioned that before? Just go to the movies, turn your phone off, don't read your email, go to a double movie if you can.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah, book book a holiday or something. So get uncontactable for a little while, and but it's true. We go to the beach house, and every time I go down there, I get besieged by things. So I still work when I'm down there anyway, which I'm going next week. And
it's the universe saying you are not going to enjoy the beach while you're down there.
Yeah.
That you can't say no to. Without fail.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably the thing. That's my ultimate hint.
Oh my God. Well, we hope that that's helped those of you out there who might be struggling or in a bit of a slow patch right now. Lots of ideas to get cracking with. I mean, there's so many other ideas, isn't there? Like you could just add to your marketing, keep pitching. Absolutely. Pitching is a huge one. Update the SEO on your website. Look at your marketing plan. Actually, there's a fantastic lunch club if you're a gold member on marketing for freelancers. So
I saw that. That was really good.
Yeah, go and check that out in the gold group. And we will put the links to a few things that we mentioned in the show notes. But that is it for us. Do keep your eye out, though, on our socials for a competition that's happening between Rachel's List and Rounded. We're actually asking you to share your tips on busting out of a slow patch. And we'll be sharing those on the Rachel's List blog. You'll also be going into the draw to win either $100 to spend in the Rachel's List toolkit or 6 months free on Rounded. So keep your eye out for that. And we'll be back, won't we?
Yeah, we'll be back next week with a guest.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you then.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.